Come on, come on. No, no, Lydia.
Some places were never meant to be found again. Places that absorbed too much pain, too much fear. This story comes from a man named Daniel Ruiz, a maintenance worker hired to help restore the old Blackwood Psychiatric Asylum before it was turned into a museum. But after what he experienced in Ward C, the project was quietly abandoned, and the building remains sealed to this day. Blackwood Asylum had been closed since 1989. Before that, it was known for its experimental treatments, shock therapy, sensory deprivation, and isolation wards buried deep underground. Daniel was part of a small team sent to check the electrical systems before renovation. The place was silent, thick with dust and mold. Everything looked frozen in time. Wheelchairs, old patient charts, rusted stretchers. The crew worked during the day, but one evening Daniel stayed late to finish rewiring one of the lower corridors. That was his first mistake. It was past 9 p.m. Everyone else had gone home. Daniel stood in the C wing, known as the Whispering Ward by former staff. It was used for patients who had lost contact with reality. The lights kept flickering, and the air felt heavy, like breathing through wet cloth. As he reached up to check a wire, he heard it. A voice, faint and hollow, right behind him. "Can you hear me?" He turned. No one there. He laughed nervously, telling himself it was the wind. Then it came again, this time closer. Daniel. His name, whispered slowly, drawn out, from deep inside the ward. He froze. No one knew he was still in the building. Daniel followed the hallway toward the sound. Old patient doors lined both sides, steel bars, observation windows shattered. He passed one open door and saw a file folder lying on the floor. He picked it up. The label read, Patient 302, Lydia Crane. Inside were notes written by hand. They said, "Subject shows extreme sensitivity to auditory stimuli. Claims to hear whispers from the walls. Refuses to enter Ward C after midnight." The last entry was dated June 14th, 1966. The same day, the asylum was shut down for internal reasons. As he flipped the page, a faint female voice spoke right into his ear. "Don't let them take me back." Daniel dropped the file. When he looked up, there was a woman standing in the doorway. She wore a torn hospital gown, her skin pale and almost translucent, her eyes wide and glassy like she hadn't slept in years. She whispered, "They never let me leave." Then she smiled, a cracked, trembling smile. Daniel backed away, but she followed, floating slightly off the ground, her bare feet not touching the tiles. The lights above flickered violently. He could see the outline of handprints moving under the paint on the walls, as if something was trapped behind them, pushing outward. The whispering grew louder. Dozens of voices, male, female, young, old, murmuring from every direction. And in the middle of it all, Lydia screamed. Daniel bolted down the hallway and found a staircase that led into the basement, the old isolation ward. He slammed the door behind him and grabbed his flashlight. The air down there was ice cold, thick with the smell of old medicine and rust. He turned the light slowly and saw names carved into the walls, hundreds of them. In the corner, an old speaker crackled to life, one of the intercoms from the upper floor. And then Lydia's voice came through. "They hear you now, Daniel. They'll never let you go." The lights went out. In the dark, he heard footsteps all around him. Too many to be real. Something cold brushed his shoulder. He turned the flashlight on and saw dozens of pale faces staring at him from the shadows. Former patients, still wearing their gowns, still whispering. Daniel ran blindly down the stairs, through the hall, and burst out the main doors into the freezing rain. He didn't stop until he reached his truck. When he looked back, the asylum lights were on. Every window of Ward C glowed faintly orange, and in one of them, he swore he saw Lydia standing there, watching him leave. Daniel quit the restoration job that night. The company shut down the project within a week, citing unexplained electrical malfunctions and personnel safety concerns. To this day, no one has entered Ward C again. Locals say you can still hear whispers from the hill at night, and if you stand outside the broken gate long enough, you'll see a flicker of light in one of the top windows, room 302. Some buildings never forget, and some souls never leave. If you ever hear someone whisper your name in a place that's supposed to be empty, don't answer.